You can see me. Okay. Hope it's not crazy blurry. It might be. Is it blurry? A little blurry. I guess a little blurry is better than nothing. I'm gonna try one more thing real quick. It was looking so crispy earlier. I got a whole Ethernet cord and everything, bruh. Got my Wi-Fi working good, but it's cool. Look, Ricky Point Live. I'm 4 minutes in, and I'm already fashionably late. Um, so this is Rick reporting live from the crib, and today I decided to kind of bring it back home. Um, as I reflect on exactly what I want, um, the platform to be, and what I want the reach to be, and what we need to talk about as a people, right? Before I go any further, I want to send my condolences and my love to Breonna Taylor and her family. Um, it's not the easiest time for anybody. But with that being said, we do have to move on and continue the fight. And in that, we need to make sure that we are mentally capable of doing that, because it gets old having these same instances occur and having these emotions and these feelings of anger and upsetness and not know what to do with it. Right. So today, decided to really start from the foundation and start with mental wealth. Right. And I got some amazing brothers on today. I got my brother Jesse and Lamar, who are the co-founders of Dear Fathers. I'm gonna let them break it down. And I also have, who's also a byproduct, a pivot of that, my brother Brad Edwards, who is a community leader and is really they're both doing some things that I feel like are tangibly or tangible tools to help um our mental health, especially I guess in this case black men. So I think my whole journey with mental health started maybe about 2 years ago. I never really actually Big Sean had a lyric in his new album. He said, in school I learned about biology and chemistry, but not how to deal with anxiety. And that's just a fact. I wasn't aware of mental health, anxiety, therapy, meditation, none of that growing up. Nothing, not one iota. It wasn't until I had literally anxiety attack breakdown for something that wasn't even that big. I had been through far greater things in the past, but it was this one instant um, that caused me to break down. And I'm gonna be transparent. I think being transparent is how we get the collective truth and how we just bond together. So I had a breakdown because I didn't get a job because I failed a drug hair test, right? I had smoked in a minute, but I must have some old hair in the back and they got it. I just knew I was good. I didn't get the job. I had a breakdown, right? Like I said, I've been through far more serious stuff in the past, but I feel like it was God telling me something, right? So it was in that instant where I realized I need to see a therapist, right? Never had, I don't know what if someone told me or how I knew to see a therapist or call a therapist, but I did. So I'm about to touching on my therapy journey real quick before I bring my brothers on, because people say go to therapy, go to counseling, but nobody tells you like how to do it or like how to navigate it, because it's way easier said than done. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I'm on my fourth therapist right now, and he just confirmed today, right? But I'm gonna take you real quick through the first three and why it's not that easy. First of all, um, I called this lady. She was cool. The first episode, I mean, for episode, the first session was dope. I'm like, man, this is I'm kind of, I'm really, not very open. I hold a lot of stuff in. That was probably the problem. I was holding so much stuff in and not getting it out, right? So the first session cool, second session cool, third session, she is great. I'm like, man, I found a therapist. I'm feeling free. I actually, it wasn't like that. The first gonna be trauma. It's gonna be traumaful because you're talking about things that you probably didn't even realize you were going through. But I knew it was helping, right? So the third session, She say, Ricky, I got something to tell you. I'm like, oh, you leaving me already? What, you got cancer? I'm scared. I don't know what she's gonna say. She said, I got something to tell you. I knew your mother and I knew your father. I'm like, you knew my parents. When they say St. Louis small, I found one therapist and she knew both my parents. A lot of my trauma, a lot of my things that are built up over time are because of, the loss of my mom and my relationship with my dad. So, and next, move on to another lady. First session, I don't know how we started talking about my sister and Frizz Fest and how it came about because I lost my mom. The whole session was about her cannot wait to come to Frizz Fest and buy all the hair care products. I'm sitting there like, really, she's talking the whole time. So I'm like, nothing against her. She was a very sweet lady, but I'm not here to talk about Frizz Fest with you, lady. So next. So I'm trying to go the whole opposite. I'm like, I'm going to go. In hindsight, I probably was trying to fill a void unknowingly with a black female. Me have, lost so many black females in my life. So anyway, I go to an older white lady. She didn't get me. It was cool at first. She helped me a little bit, but I could tell she was judging me a little bit, right? So that was probably December of 2019. So fast forward to today, fast forward to Monday, I'm like, man, I felt the depression, the COVID. Everybody's kind of dealing with something, the depression and anxiety. I kind of feel it creeping. I'm like, man, I need to reach out to another therapist. Oh, I want to say one thing. After the first therapist, I read a book by Charlemagne called Shook Ones. And it was an okay book, but it was one thing that's really stood out to me. He mentioned that the therapy process, like find the right therapist. So it let me know it's okay to go to multiple therapists. So in that's why I went to number 2, number 3, number 4. So anyway, on Monday, I'm like, let me get a black male therapist, right? So first of all, it's not a lot of resources for a black male therapist, especially in St. Louis. It's psychology.com is the main one. I couldn't find any other ones, right? So, so say it's 80 therapists. For every 15 women, there's one male. There might have been 7 or 8 black male therapists on this whole psychology.com in St. Louis. So what? All the black men in St. Louis sharing the same therapist? So I just told that story to tell you that, unless you funny, Frizz Fest do be lit, but I'm not all invested in. But I'm not trying to talk about Frizz Fest in my therapy session. People say go to therapy, but they don't say none of this. Like, I didn't know nothing. Like, I'm going. Luckily, he confirmed today, so I got my session tomorrow. I'll let y'all know next week how it was. It's at 1:00. But it's not that easy. It's not just go see a therapist, go to counseling, like, especially for a young black man who we already are apprehensive about going in the first place. Now we got to navigate this whole system where it's not that many. And in St. Louis, we got the chance of the person knowing us. You know what I'm saying? So that's my little therapy story. And I want it to be an open forum. Like, if you're watching now or you watch later, like, I'm really in this for us so we can, like, kind of come together and exchange wisdom and information and knowledge so we can better our mental health. Like, I'm being the guinea pig for me and for y'all, I guess, because I'm trying to navigate it. But that's why it's important. I got my brothers on today. I went back, started from the foundation, like mental health, right? I got some brothers that have really created some tangible ways, specifically as a young black father, to navigate this world and focus on our mental health and, the holistic approach to being the best person that we can be for ourselves and our family, right? So I did mention Breonna Taylor. I'm gonna say that again because we still ain't over that, and that still triggered me today. But anyway, without further ado, I'm finna bring on first my brother Lamar Johnson and Jesse Alex. I call him Jesse. I ain't gonna say your last name, but I never added more than one person on her, so I'm finna try to do that right now. So we finna see how it is. Boom. Oh, Lamar, I knew you were behind from the camera, Lamar. I knew Lamar. I know Lamar don't be on camera, so this already is a big deal because Lamar is like the myth and the legend, right?
Hear me?
So, Lamar, you might got to turn your camera on.
Am I on here? Y'all can see me?
There you go.
Yeah.
See you. What's up, Jesse?
What's
up,
good,
Lamar?
bro?
How y'all doing, man?
What up?
Chilling, man.
Chilling, bro. It's
Oh,
good.
look, got another T-shirt, man. Lamar with the T-shirts, man.
He be holding back on the tees, don't he?
Right, he do,
Hey,
man.
I be
So,
putting in work, man.
yeah, well, throw me another one, man. I first of all, I appreciate y'all for coming on, and we're gonna just dive right into Dear Fathers, right? Just let me know how it came about and why it came about. Why is it important, and how was it created?
I'll lead it off, man. So for those that don't know, Dear Fathers is a platform me and Lamar started September 29, 2019. So we like 6 days away from our 1 year. It's a platform we started to tell stories of Black fatherhood. We both started it for the simple fact that we didn't really have a real fatherhood experience growing up. Me, I don't have kids yet. I plan to. Lamar's a father of two. So his story, you know, he'll talk on this a little bit more too, is a little different than mine, but mine came from the standpoint of like not having a fatherhood experience, like growing up in life, just going through things. People would ask me about my dad, and I would just kind of say like, I don't need a dad. Like, it's cool. But as I got to be like 28, 29, 30, I started to reevaluate that a lot more. Like,
Right.
You know, trying to be the leader of a household or working through corporate or being an entrepreneur, like starting to realize that I didn't really have a lot of like, you know, fatherhood or father figures in my life to kind of help me navigate those processes. So as we started like talking about that more, me and Lamar, you know, we started like researching the Black fatherhood space, and that's how Dear Fathers came about.
That's dope. That's dope, dog. And I feel like even for me, just seeing Black fathers held to the standard that you guys show them at, that we don't see a lot, that's inspiring in itself. And that helps with our mental health, because if we, you know, a lot of our trauma comes from, you know, a lot of my trauma personally comes from my interaction with Black men. I've been, you know, so I've been robbed and shot at. That's what happens where I'm at by a Black man. So I realize I've had trauma with my own people, and that's like a crazy and transparent thing to say. But you create something that we can see us in that light.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that's what it's all about, because for me, kind of one of the reasons of starting a platform is like, how can I be something I've never seen before? You know what I'm saying? I never really seen a Black man love a woman in my family. I never seen a Black man in my family as a father in a more authentic way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as I got older, it's like, how can I be something that I never seen? So we created the platform to tell stories, because we wanted to create a safe space for Black men, Black fathers, whether you are a father now or you're just a Black man, you don't have any kids yet. You can kind of see these different type of things from Black men, Black fathers, and read these stories that you can, you know, potentially relate to in a sense, to help you, you know, kind of just ease the process of whatever you're going through.
Right. So on Dear Fathers platform, what all do you guys have as far as content? I know y'all got a multifaceted approach.
Yeah, no, we're a media platform. I'll let Lamar touch on it since he tapped out, I think. So I'll let him go in on that.
Yeah, so I mean, at Dear Fathers, we actually offer a lot. You know, we do that just based on the fact that we want to be able to communicate and just be able to relate to all Black fathers and Black men in general. So at the top, you know, we have a podcast where we kind of interview, where we interview celebrity fathers, and then we have like a 1,000 Fearless Fathers campaign where we where we basically interviewed. You know, your day-to-day dads, and then we have different segments based on different things. So obviously, Ricky, you know, with Beyond I Do, we have the marriage segment, and we have a Black Dad creative segment for where our host interviews dads, creative Black dads, where they talk about just being creative and parenting. And then we have our interview segment with Brandon, where he just basically interviews dads and people and just talk about their relationships with their fathers. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Jesse, but go ahead. I'll probably.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what Lamar said, we got something for every type of dad. Like I said, we're coming up on our 1 year, so I feel like we've accomplished a lot in a year, but we still haven't reached the pinnacles we plan to like get into when it comes to Black fatherhood. So we have something for everybody, and I want to touch on like different community-based things that we plan to do too. And I'll touch on them a little bit because I'm pretty sure Brad, who's on our team, will touch on them a little bit once we hop off too. But our nonprofit, Fearless Fathers, is a platform we created to provide resource for fathers. So whether that be child custody battles, child support, battles, mental health, we want to provide resources as far as mental health. So if you're a Black father, and I know this is all this, mental health is wealth type of deal. So if you're a Black father and you can't afford mental health sessions, we want to be able to provide resources to do that. This Sunday, we actually have a free, and again, I know Brad's going to touch on this, but I'll touch on this too. So this Sunday via Zoom, we got a free group mental health session led by 2 Black male mental health therapists, which Ricky, you kind of said too. Like, I think you said what the ratio is 15-1 or something, 15-2. What was it?
It seemed at least it could be about 20-1.
20, yeah. So like we got a free mental health session via Zoom led by 2 Black male mental health therapists, and that's just a safe space for Black men, Black fathers to come and just vent, unpack, fellowship, be educated, whatever the case may be. And they've been going pretty well so far. So just different things like that we're looking to do for our people, for our communities, to help tell stories and also provide resources.
Right.
That's it. That's just important that, it was important for me to bring y'all on to highlight that, because it made me think as I was navigating this space of mental health. It's not I don't see a lot of tangible things that me as a young Black man can go to and get inspired. A lot of things I see is the opposite, especially on social media, man. So what y'all got coming next, man?
Go ahead, Lamar.
Oh, so yeah, like you said, this coming weekend we have our straight mental for our Black men, where it'll be via Zoom. So we got that. What day is it? The
27.
Yeah, the 27th is Sunday, and then we have the Black men's career development event, which will be next month in St. Louis. And I can't remember what the name of the center is, but it'll be downtown St. Louis, and that'll be we'll do that, and we'll be basically we're doing this to help dads, or just help Black men in general, to be able to create, I guess, to just lead their families by going out, and it's been a hard time, so we want people, these guys, to be able to go out and find jobs, and we want to help them with that while we help them build their resume, headshots. We will have vendors on site where some will be doing on-site interviews and getting haircuts for their headshots, and just different things like that, where we can kind of like help uplift our people in the city of St. Louis, especially with that being home. We just want to kind of give back where we can with that. So that's October 18th.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate everything y'all are doing for fathers. Is just so needed in this space to see us, see us performing at this high level. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing y'all from back, and it's just good to see just the growth. You know what I'm saying? That's dope, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Oh man, it's all love. I'll see y'all. So I'm about to pivot to Brad real quick, man. But Dear Fathers, make sure y'all check out Dear Fathers on all social media platforms, YouTube. Check out Beyond I Do too.
Yeah, definitely check out Beyond I Do, hosted by Ricky and his wife Val. That's a dope
Yeah, she
segment
on her
for
somewhere. She
anybody.
probably on somewhere.
You said
Yeah,
what?
no, that's I'm gonna say it real quick. I've grown so much as a husband from doing these interviews, and just really opened me up to that's the best. Actually, I can't say Val says a lot. Like we learn a lot from just communicating with other people than someone telling us. You know, so that's what this even if we just some young black men talking about mental health, if that's what is the narrative of this, then that's fine because we need to change this narrative, man. We can talk about mental health and how to become great fathers.
For sure. Yeah, you talked about Shootone earlier. I got that book right here.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I read it too. Signed by Charlamagne too. I met him out here in Dallas. Signed that joint.
Oh, you got autograph. Okay, you had. So I think I rented mine. I rented that mug, but
yeah, I be really on audio books to be honest. But that was a cool little grab.
But that was the only really book, you know, that I could find that I felt like spoke to me. But dope that you got that, man. Keep pushing, man. I appreciate y'all, dog. I'm gonna holler at y'all, dear fathers.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
Yeah.
All right, man. That was Jesse and Lamar, co-founders of Dear Fathers. So, if you just tapping in, this is like an open discussion. Like I just brought it back to the foundation, so we can talk about some real-time things that are going on. I guess in this instance in St. Louis that we can tap into to grow holistically. So my next guest, my brother Brad, we go back like 4 flats. I'm gonna bring him on, let him just kind of let y'all know everything going on. What's cracking? I can't hear you. You on mute? Can anybody hear Brad, or is it just me? Let me see. Try logging out and coming back on. It should ask you to use your audio and your visual when you log on. All right, so yeah, we're gonna wait for Brad to come in. So if anybody, I mean, this is a new topic for you. Can hear him? Okay, cool. What up, Eddie? What up, Eddie? So mental health is just a whole new topic for me in general. But I'm finding that talking to other people, talking to our people is the best way to, you know, learn different strategies to navigate mental health. And, you know, every day it seems like it's something new. So you have to have tools that you are able to cope with these different anxieties and depressions and know your triggers. I just have found through bumping my head that my tools that help me are reading and running. But you gotta just find your tools and deep breaths. Actually, I give you a prime example. Like having these tools in your holster is very important because when you need them, you got them. And deep breaths, you know, it sounds so cliche, but like deep breaths have helped me so tremendously. Example, 2 weeks ago when I interviewed Murphy Lee on her, my mic and stuff had messed up like 10 minutes before. I was stressed out, had anxiety like a mug. I went outside and took like 5 deep breaths, and I was cool. The old me would have been so tripping anxiety. I probably would have had sabotaged myself and not even did it. But I had the tools, deep breaths, and we got through it. All right, my brother back. Let's see. I can hear you, I think.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Rick?
Yeah. I can hear you. What's up, bro? Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Can't hear you either, dog.
You can't hear me, but I can hear you though. I can hear you though. Try one more time.
All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, there we go.
All right, man, we in there. See, man,
All the technology, bro.
all this technology, you know, we talking about some deep stuff, man. You know, you know, we got to get this off, man. I appreciate
Yeah, I'm here now.
Brad Edwards. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. How about yourself, dog?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
All right, for sure.
For sure. So, when I was thinking about mental health, you know, I heard earlier about me navigating my therapy. It's not a lot of tangible. I had to dig so hard to find a therapist through trial and error. But what you got going on with the straight mental is like a tangible, real time, right now tool that Black men can use for mental health. Can you just touch on that? Like, what is it? Because I actually am excited to do it on Sunday, but can you just like let us in on like how it was created and like kind of the process of the actual straight mental talk?
Yeah, man. So we and looking at some things that we could do to help the community, but obviously we couldn't do a lot in person because of COVID. Doing some virtual workshops was the easiest route to go. So you know, just looking at everything, man, and how everything was going to trend, mental health was going to be something that was important. It was something that we were going through ourselves. I know for sure I was going through it. So to be able to put together a safe space for brothers to come together, and I noticed within like the last maybe 12 to 18 months that the conversation about therapy and mental health is starting to become more normal. So I'm like, all right, well, let's try to put together this safe space of young of brothers coming together to talk, and let's have some mental health professionals present so we can get some clinical advice and guidance, but it also can be an open discussion. So we lead it off with our two professionals kind of giving their professional advice and opinion on whatever the topic is. Like for Sunday, it's going to be navigating COVID. So like helping your kids cope, making sure that you are practicing self-care yourself. You know what I mean? Because, you know, as men, we give to everyone in the family, right? But we can't give if we don't have anything in us. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we have to make sure that we replenishing our own tanks. So we're gonna have them lead off, Aaron and Tony lead off with, you know, some professional words of encouragement and guidance, and then we're gonna open up the floor. So the first time we did it, I had a couple of guys reach out afterwards. It was like, man, that was my first time ever talking to a therapist in any capacity.
Right.
So that's our biggest thing. We want to introduce them even speaking to a professional and them getting an understanding of what it is. It's not this whole clinical academic type of vibe like people think it is. Right. If you find the right therapist, it's like talking to family. Like I heard you talking earlier, like I went through probably 3 therapists myself. I just didn't feel comfortable. Then, but the luck of a draw, I found a lady, Holly West, and I love her. Like when I go in, like if I'm supposed to go in for an hour, sometimes we'll be there for an hour and a half. She only charge me for the hour because at this point she's like, I'm investing into you as a person, and I really feel that love and that kind of mother kind of vibe to where, you know, I don't want to miss my appointments. Before I would make a reason to miss my stuff, but now it's like, man, I'm looking forward to going and talking to her, and I'm looking forward to just, you know what I'm saying, kind of learning and deep diving into myself a little bit more. So, you know, as much as I wanted to be a Black man, I didn't really vibe with them, but getting this Black woman was like night and day.
That's interesting, and also dope that you had a similar experience with having to navigate different therapists, because that can be frustrating at first. If you it's already hard for us to get the ball rolling, and then we gotta go to this one. But I appreciate you because I've never even talked to anybody that has had this type of process, because like you said, with your Zoom mental, that's the first. I would think the same thing. That's probably the first time most of the men have ever been in any kind of counsel or therapy whatsoever. So that's, and you mentioned the whole family and the holistic approach, because you also got the leaders soccer. Is it a soccer? academy, I'm not sure, but I just know how much physical health or being, your physical is directly aligned with your mental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So can you just speak about just not speak about, let people know that you got the soccer program, because I'm literally am in the process of trying to get my daughter in it, because I think no, real talk. You already know.
Yeah. Me and Brock just talked about that the other day. Yeah. No, so we waiting. So I know what kind of soccer player you were, an athlete in general. So we definitely looking forward to getting some of your genes involved as well.
No.
But nah, man. So Brock Chapman, man. Brock is our lead coach on everything. So Brock was a hell of a soccer player in high school, college.
Yeah.
In the club scene, all this stuff. Back then, it was only really Scott Gallagher, and I want to say Lou Fuse. So right now, you probably have like 3 or 4 big clubs in the state of Missouri, and Missouri is a soccer state.
Right.
There's one club, the Flyers, but that's really about it when it comes to Black kids having the opportunity to play the game of soccer or even being introduced to it. So when Brock came to me over the course of the summer, like, hey, I really want to start this, I was ready to go because I've been waiting for him to do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's one person that can introduce the game to our kids, introduce just to them right, and help guide and lead them to being, the kind of person that they should be, it's him. So it was nothing for me to hop on. So I think within 2 weeks, we had 45 kids signed up for our first 6-week pilot program, basically. So, it was scary, man, because it's during COVID, right? So I was just focused on getting through them 6 weeks without us having a kid catch a case. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we got to week 5, week 6, Brock is steady asking, like, hey, man, like, what's next? What you want to do next? I'm like, I just want to get through it safely. Like, I'm not even thinking about next. I just want to make sure that we get through and none of the kids get affected.
Right.
And the parents kept asking me, hey, so what's next? What's next? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, we got to see what COVID's going to do. But, at the end of the day, like, it was great because our kids, especially being Black, they need that vitamin D from the sun. They need to be out there being active. They need that interaction. And for it to be the interaction with kids that look just like them, a lot of them were used to going out to clubs, out in offending, no fouling, and they're the only Black kid there.
Right.
So while they might enjoy the game, they really not interacting and really fellowshipping with the kids and really having that real team bond.
Engagement, right.
Yeah. So with us, I mean, they were around other kids that look just like them, that relate to them. Our parents are great with each other, man. So we had some parents like, hey, man, our kid improved with you guys in 6 weeks more than they did in 2 years somewhere else. And that's really what we want to hear, man. Like kids, the first week, I'm asking like, hey, how you doing? Are you ready? Like, I'm kind of nervous. You know what I mean? They're kind of hesitant. By week 6, they run up like, it's soccer. Like they were so excited because they were learning a game that they didn't know that much about, but now they developed a feel, vibe, and an understanding of it. And for us, like teaching these kids the game of soccer is important because now you're teaching them about world culture. The best soccer players aren't in the United States.
Right.
So if they're going to follow Mbappe or some of these other guys who are in France, Argentina, wherever, they're starting to get a understanding of what those different places look like. And this game could take them to those different countries and that type of thing, man. So it's been really good. So this session that we're going in right now, we got 80 kids, and I still have parents hitting us up like, hey, I want to get my kid involved, this and the third, man. So it's growing much more than what we could even expect.
That's what's up, man. Save me a spot. But I was also saying,
all right, we got you.
Back in I played soccer, and what's really dope is the reason I did it because it wasn't cool. The reason I stopped in like middle school because it wasn't cool when I played football, because all my friends played football, because I didn't have a Brad and a Brock seeing people like me playing soccer. I just didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just important in itself, because I say a lot of times it's not even a sport, it's just the intangibles the sports bring, like teamwork, communication, self-confidence, and soccer is such, I wouldn't say easy, but it's a fun, all you need is a ball to kick around.
Yes.
So it's
and that's the thing, like if you in the hood, you can go play soccer. All you need is a trash can and a ball. You know what I'm saying? It's way less expensive than any of these other sports. But when you go to the club level, it's expensive. It's like $3,000, $4,000 a year. Like you know, we've been fortunate enough. You know, we had it at a low cost for the first session. This current session we're in right now, we're offering it at no cost. And we just want to make it affordable, man. But the exposure to it, like we are scrimmaging every Saturday at Matthew Dickey. So we at Cool Papa Bell. You know what I'm saying? Like you grew up playing football there just like I did.
Yeah.
So we got the football kids that the first was coming up like, oh, what y'all doing? Y'all playing soccer? Like that's weak. Yeah. But then after they really seeing like it's some strategy to this, like they can get a little physical, they out there running. Now we have parents from the football kids that are coming up to us like, hey, how do we get our kids involved? So I think for our kids, they're athletes. So if they see the game and they can understand how it's navigated and played, they'll gravitate towards it, man, and they'll start taking it over.
No, that's it. So I had that exact. I literally my freshman year, I was on my way to soccer practice, and I remember it like it was Jeff Horton and Keith Wyatt. I'm walking in the door. They say, "Ricky, nigga, you playing soccer?" I'm like, yeah. I turned my cleats in the next day. Real talk. I was a freshman. I was so easily not even peer pressure, but I was just so easy swayed to play football. Like it was that easy because I had nothing that was keeping me in soccer. I didn't see no black kids. I see no black coaches. I know no black players, but Pele. You know what I'm saying? So I want to salute you for that because that's breaking a generational thing that we had on, you know, with soccer. And Keith and Jeff Horton, if y'all see this, I could have been overseas. Y'all pure person to play football.
I remember you at Salem, bro. You definitely would have been somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Playing the game on the next level, dog.
That's a trigger. Honestly, I'm forced to become a trigger for me when I'm thinking like my uncle come like, man, you could have went to the NFL, man. That's a trigger. I hang up because I don't want to. That's why I need to see my therapist tomorrow and talk about.
I got you.
So I know you. I know we didn't speak about this before, but if you want to touch on, I know you do the Melcura Health. I don't know if you want to touch on that. I know your journey with women's reproduction and just the systemic, that's a whole nother conversation, but I don't know if you want to just give us a little brief on what exactly that is because I want to know.
Yeah, man. So just real briefly, some Melcura Health, man, it is Leslie funny. It is a healthcare startup that me a friend that went to Fisk with me and my cousin Will from TSU started. So our team is basically all HBCU grads, whether it's TSU or Fisk. I think it's kind of it right now. But our focus is Black woman reproductive health. So we all know, and again, the conversation has been coming up more and more. Like 2020, as messed up as it has been, it's brought a lot of good conversations to light. And the rate at which maternal death and fraternal death, infant death is in the Black community it is problematic as hell.
It's if you guys don't know that our infant mortality rate is worse than third world countries.
And St. Louis especially, right?
What's that?
So St. Louis, I think St. Louis and Memphis have the two highest rates.
St. Louis has one of the worst infant mortality rates in Black kids in the world. It's like becoming a crisis. It is a crisis. But yeah, man. So like, you know, I was in the process of having my own child when we started this. So that's probably what caught my attention the most and had me that engaged. So then just doing research, man, and talking with mothers that had been through certain things. So like what I was starting to realize is things that we probably perceived as normal is common, right? So it could be a difference between being common and normal. So it's common in the Black community, but that doesn't mean it should be normal for the whole birth process. Right.
So, you know, the whole conversation of having a doula. So one of our basic foundations is every Black woman deserves a doula. Every Black woman deserves an advocate for their health. We get a lot of Black women that get into these these surgery rooms to give birth, not allowed to have a natural birth because the C-section is such a moneymaker for the hospitals. It's such a easy way to kind of, get a time frame of when you're going to get this surgery done. It's lower risk for them. It's just, it's a lot that goes into that, right? But we want to be able to have, educate women on being an advocate for themselves, providing them with doulas so they can have that extra person there that they can speak for them, that can, kind of be that second opinion versus just the doctor doing what the doctor wants to do and that being the end of it, man. So, our goal, man, is to help save lives, man. And then we also want to get men, educated on what's going on. A lot of brothers don't understand, like, they look at birth and the whole pregnancy thing as it's a woman thing, right? It's beyond that. It's a life thing. It's something that both parties are a part of. But as the man, you have to kind of be the protector and understanding what that process looks like, what needs to happen, and just being there, being present in the moment. That's the most important thing, man. I hate when I hear guys talking about how they're gonna go to the parking lot, kick with they partners or do whatever while the birth is taking place. You might come into a misery. You know what I'm saying? You might come into a nightmare when that woman is gone and that baby is gone because she was in there by herself.
Right.
So, we just want to start with Black mental health. When it comes to woman reproductive health, we have to start normalizing these conversations. When we have more conversations with each other, we'll see that, we kind of gone through the same thing, so we can help another person avoid that same road. Let's do that. Like when I talked to about 4 or 5 women who gave me their testimonies and their experience with with birth complications. 3 of the stories were the same thing.
Wow.
So, if we can educate 2 other women and they can see the signs before they happen, they may be able to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? We may be able to save a life in doing that.
Right.
So, man, we got to be communicating.
That comes with, and like you said, that comes with making these conversations normal because they weren't passed down to us. Like everything you said from women's reproduction and mental health is something that we literally are learning by bumping our heads and that's how you do that, or that's how you navigate that. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope, man. Tap in. It's my brother Brad Edwards, dog. He's doing some great stuff. I'm gonna be joining on the straight mental on Sunday. I can't wait. On Zoom, if you're interested, is a therapy session on Sunday on Zoom. You can just tap in and just listen. If you never had therapy before, if you want to see what it's like, this is the perfect opportunity. You don't want to be calling around St. Louis like me trying to find a therapy.
Yeah, no, man. We have a guy from St. Louis. One of our other guys, Aaron Mueller. He just did a
Aaron Mueller.
Yeah, Aaron Mueller. He just did a special on HBO about Black men mental health, man. So like, we have 2 good guys. We have one in St. Louis, man. So he'll be able to give some resources if someone wants to continue that conversation. We'll have things in place for you to be able to do so, man. So yeah, bro. Looking forward to Sunday, man. Looking forward to you being there as well.
For sure, man. Keep me giving you your flowers and the Jesse and Lamar too, man. I appreciate you.
We appreciate it.
I gotta highlight these young brothers that's talking about real time things that we need as a people, man. So keep doing your thing, bro. Keep pushing, man. Love you, dog.
Love you too, bro. Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah. Ricky Point Live, man. That was dope. Hope that wasn't too deep, but that was trill, man. That was really, really real. We got to focus on us, and Brad made a really good point that, COVID, the racial injustice this year has been tumultuous. Ooh, I think I said that right. But it's brought a lot of stuff to the surface. And a lot of times when those things come to the surface, it's not easy to deal with, but it's necessary. So necessarily take care of yourself, your health, your mind, your body, your soul. And thank you, Leslie. Thank you to Sherry, my dad, Danielle, Eddie tapped in, Kendra, I appreciate you. I didn't see the Black therapist thing you talking about. I looked it up. I couldn't find it. Thank you, Yolanda. Oh, your friend, I forgot. Your friend Myra Kaufman, I just met her before this started, and she told me the first mental health therapy just I guess guidance I had. She said she pretty much asks her therapist a certain amount of questions before she talks to them, and if they get offended or if they rub her the wrong way, she knows they're not the one. But that's the things that we need to hear and talk about so we can implement that in our journey. So my name is Ricky reporting live. Well, my name is not Ricky reporting live. My name is Ricky Hughes, and this is Ricky reporting live from the crib. And we back here next week. And I'm actually kind of structured now. I got a little stuff popping, got my room coming, got a little thing coming up. So we outside. Thank you to all y'all for tapping in. I appreciate all y'all. I really appreciate everybody that has watched this, that will watch this, because this is like bigger than me. I genuinely know that this is just my mission in life to just uplift and to inspire. So we outside, man. Ricky reporting live. Ski.